Chapter 1. Trust versus Mistrust. Birth to 18 months. Introduction. The first psychosocial stage, trust versus mistrust, begins at birth and extends to about 18 months of age. Erikson emphasized that this foundational stage plays a pivotal role in establishing a child's perception of the world as either safe and reliable or unpredictable and threatening. Core conflict and outcome. The central question an infant faces is, can I trust the world to meet my needs? Through interactions with primary caregivers, the infant learns whether their environment is trustworthy. Consistent, warm, and responsive care fosters trust. Conversely, inconsistent care or neglect cultivates mistrust. Psychological strength developed. Hope emerges as the virtuous outcome. This long-term optimism builds resilience and enables confidence in seeking future needs. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Formation of secure attachment bonds. Beginning emotional regulation with caregiver support. Developing confidence to explore surroundings cautiously. Real-world applications. Responsive parenting promoting secure bonds, as observed in infants who cry and are comforted promptly, illustrates the cultivation of trust. Neglect or harsh treatment risks anxiety or withdrawal. Influence on later life. Adults with resolved trust develop healthy relationships, emotional security, and openness. Mistrust can result in social withdrawal, suspicion, or difficulties with intimacy. Cultural considerations. Cultures with communal caregiving emphasize network reliability over individual responses, but still affirm the necessity of trust. Supporting research. Attachment theory by Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth's work endorse Erikson's trust concept as foundational for psychological well-being. Practical caregiver tips. Be consistently responsive to infant cues. Offer emotional warmth and physical closeness. Create an environment that feels safe and predictable. Summary. Trust versus mistrust is the bedrock for all future psychosocial development. With a foundation of hope, individuals gain the confidence to face life's uncertainties.
Chapter 2. Autonomy versus shame and doubt. 18 months to 3 years. Introduction. In the second stage, autonomy versus shame and doubt, toddlers begin to assert independence by experimenting with bodily control and decision-making. This phase takes place roughly between 18 months and 3 years. Core conflict and outcome. The child asks, "Can I do things by myself?" Mastering basic skills such as walking, talking, eating, and toileting fosters autonomy, a sense of capability and self-control. Conversely, over-criticism or discouragement breeds shame and doubt, leading to hesitance and low self-esteem. Psychological strength developed. Will, or determination, is the key strength, empowering children to act on their desires and persevere. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Assertion of independence through motor skills and decision-making. Learning to regulate bodily functions, toilet training. Developing a sense of personal control. Real-world examples. Toddlers who are encouraged to dress themselves or choose activities develop autonomy. Parents who punish or ridicule exploration can cause feelings of shame. Influence on later life. Successfully resolved autonomy creates confident, self-reliant adults. Failure can result in dependency, low confidence, or shamefulness. Cultural considerations. Some cultures emphasize interdependence over independence, but a balanced sense of autonomy still benefits psychological health. Supporting research. Research in early childhood autonomy aligns with positive self-concept and social adjustment. Practical caregiver tips. Allow toddlers to make simple choices. Encourage attempts at self-care, even if imperfect. Avoid harsh punishment or ridicule during exploration. Summary. Autonomy versus shame and doubt nurtures the willpower to act independently, central to healthy identity development.
Chapter 3, Initiative versus Guilt, 3 to 6 years. Introduction. Between ages 3 and 6, children enter the initiative versus guilt stage. They begin to assert power and control over their environment through directing play and social interactions. Core conflict and outcome. Children ask, is it okay for me to do, move, and act? Successful navigation encourages initiative, goal-directed behavior, planning, and leadership. Too much control, disapproval, or punishment leads to guilt, inhibiting their willingness to take the initiative. Psychological strength developed. Purpose emerges, symbolizing the ability to envision and strive for goals. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Expanding pretend and cooperative play. Beginning rule understanding and adherence. Taking initiative in social and family roles. Real-world examples. Children leading play, planning small projects, or helping at home foster initiative. Overly critical environments produce guilt and passivity. Influence on later life. Purposeful adults confidently propose and pursue goals. Excessive guilt correlates with anxiety and inhibited creativity. Cultural considerations. Cultural norms about childhood behavior influence how initiative is expressed and managed. Supporting research. Play therapy studies identify initiative as crucial for social and cognitive development. Practical caregiver tips. Support children's curiosity and plans. Balance supervision with freedom. Avoid shaming or harsh criticism. Summary. Initiative versus guilt encourages children to develop a purposeful attitude toward the world and their own agency.
Chapter 4. Industry versus inferiority, 6 to 12 years. Introduction. During school age, children enter industry versus inferiority, characterized by the challenge, can I achieve success and competence? Core conflict and outcome. Children learn to work and produce, comparing themselves with peers. Success leads to industry, a sense of competence and achievement. Failure or negative comparisons lead to feelings of inferiority. Psychological strength developed. Competence is the emergent strength, the feeling of effectiveness in social and academic tasks. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Mastering academic skills such as reading and math, developing hobbies and teamwork abilities, engaging with peer groups and school expectations. Real-world examples. A child who succeeds in school projects gains confidence. One who faces persistent failure or criticism may feel inferior. Influence on later life. Positive industry supports motivation and self-confidence. Inferiority can induce social withdrawal or low aspiration. Cultural considerations. Cultural values on achievement and success influence this stage's experience. Research support. Studies suggest school success correlates with positive self-esteem and social competence. Practical caregiver and educator tips. Praise effort rather than innate ability. Encourage involvement in diverse activities. Provide constructive feedback to build skills. Summary. Industry versus inferiority develops the child's sense of competence, which serves as motivation for future challenges.
Chapter 5. Identity versus Role Confusion. 12 to 18 years. Introduction. Adolescence marks the critical identity versus role confusion stage, where the question is, who am I and where am I going? Core conflict and outcome. With physical and cognitive maturity, teens explore various roles, beliefs, and values to develop a cohesive personal identity. Success leads to fidelity, a firm sense of self. Failure produces role confusion, leading to uncertainty and instability. Psychological strength developed. Fidelity is the ability to commit to others and values despite contradictions. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Exploring career and ideological beliefs, forming peer groups and romantic relationships, experimenting with different roles and identities. Real-world examples. A teen who actively explores and commits to beliefs develops clear identity. One who resists or is pressured prematurely may experience confusion. Influence on later life. Strong identity promotes intimacy, career success, and self-confidence. Role confusion can result in fragmentation and difficulties in commitment. Cultural considerations. Cultural expectations greatly influence identity formation pathways. Research support. Erikson's model shaped identity research. Marcia's identity status theory expands on exploration and commitment. Practical tips for families and mentors. Support open exploration without judgment. Encourage dialogue about values and futures. Respect autonomy while providing guidance. Summary. Identity versus role confusion is a formative stage where adolescents build a stable self to anchor adulthood. Chapter 6. Intimacy versus Isolation. Young Adulthood, 18 to 40 years. Introduction. Young adulthood challenges individuals with intimacy versus isolation, asking, can I form close, loving relationships? Core conflict and outcome. Success involves developing intimate, committed relationships while maintaining personal identity. Failure results in isolation, loneliness, and emotional withdrawal. Psychological strength developed. Love is cultivated, representing deep connections and mutual commitment. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Forming romantic partnerships. Establishing friendships and social networks. Balancing independence with intimacy. Real-world examples. Young adults who develop trusting bonds with partners and friends achieve intimacy. Those unable to connect may experience isolation. Influence on later life. Intimacy supports emotional health and family formation. Isolation can lead to depression or social alienation. Cultural considerations. Cultural norms influence timing and expression of intimate relationships. Supporting research. Adult attachment theory links intimacy success to early trust. Loneliness research highlights risks of isolation. Practical tips. Foster communication and vulnerability. Balance relationship needs with self-care. Seek connections that honor authenticity. Summary. Intimacy versus isolation fosters loving relationships, a cornerstone of adult life satisfaction. Chapter 7. Generativity versus stagnation. Middle adulthood, 40 to 65 years. Introduction. Middle adulthood introduces generativity versus stagnation, posing the task, am I contributing to the next generation? Core conflict and outcome. Generativity involves guiding, mentoring, and producing lasting work, or raising children. Failure results in stagnation, self-absorption, and lack of growth. Psychological strength developed. Care emerges, the desire to nurture and guide others. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Parenting or mentoring roles. Career achievements and community involvement. Creating or enhancing societal contributions. Real-world examples. Adults who actively mentor or volunteer exemplify generativity. Those disengaged may feel purposeless. Influence on later life. Generativity contributes to life satisfaction and legacy. Stagnation corresponds with midlife crises and dissatisfaction. Cultural considerations. Cultural roles influence how generativity is expressed. Supporting research. Studies demonstrate volunteering, mentoring, and productivity enhance well-being. Practical tips. Find ways to give back or mentor. Set goals that impact beyond self. Stay engaged socially and intellectually. Summary. Generativity versus stagnation challenges adults to create meaning through contribution and care. Chapter 8. Ego integrity versus despair. Late adulthood, 65+ years. Introduction. In late adulthood, the final stage, ego integrity versus despair, confronts the question, have I lived a meaningful life? Core conflict and outcome. Successful ego integrity means accepting life's course with satisfaction and wisdom. Despair occurs when individuals feel regret, bitterness, or hopelessness over missed opportunities. Psychological strength developed. Wisdom characterizes those who reflect on life with perspective and acceptance. Developmental tasks and behaviors. Reflecting on life achievements and regrets. Preparing for end-of-life issues. Maintaining dignity and purpose. Real-world examples. Elders who find peace with their past and impart knowledge embody ego integrity. Those overwhelmed by regret risk despair. Influence on death and dying. Integrity fosters calm acceptance of death, enhancing quality of life. Cultural considerations. Cultural views on aging and the afterlife influence this stage's experience. Supporting research. Life review therapy and reminiscence practices promote ego integrity. Practical tips. Encourage legacy-building activities. Facilitate storytelling and life review. Support social engagement and respect. Summary. Ego integrity versus despair represents the culmination of psychosocial development, stressing acceptance, meaning, and peace. Final thoughts. Erik Erikson's psychosocial stages represent a profound framework for understanding human growth across the lifespan. Each crisis invites both challenge and opportunity, nurturing strengths that propel us forward. By comprehending these stages in depth, individuals, caregivers, educators, and professionals can better foster psychological health and resilience at every age.